Gentlemen, look around you. Look at the world, not as you wish it were, but as it truly is. There is a malaise, a quiet decay, spreading through the very sinews of modern man. You feel it, do you not? That gnawing dissatisfaction, that dull ache of unfulfilled potential. This, my friends, is why most men will never become great. Not because they lack the capacity, but because they have forgotten the path. You, the modern man, stand at a crossroads, yet you often fail to see the road before you. You are consumed, are you not, by a relentless hunger for comfort, for ease, for the immediate satisfaction of every fleeting desire. This, I tell you plainly, is your weakness. It is a weakness that will hold you in chains tighter than any enemy ever could. Consider, for a moment, your daily ritual. You awaken not to the sharp call of duty, but often to the soft glow of a screen. You spend hours, precious hours, scrolling through digital phantoms, chasing empty validation. You measure your worth in likes and shares, in the fleeting approval of strangers you will never truly know. This is not communication. It is a profound distraction, a surrender of your true self to the digital mob. You seek out the echo chamber of agreement, fearing the sharp edges of dissenting thought. Your opinions, once forged in the crucible of your own mind, are now merely reactions, cobbled together from the collective murmur of the online world. Stop seeking comfort. Start seeking strength. Look further into your habits. When confronted with a challenging task, do you not feel the pull of procrastination? You tell yourself you'll tackle it tomorrow or the day after. You choose the instant gratification of entertainment over the grinding effort of creation. You settle for the soft, pre-packaged meal when your soul hungers for the raw, unyielding challenge of a truly difficult endeavor. Your physical form, too, bears the mark of this surrender. The discipline of the body, once the foundation of a strong spirit, is often neglected for the plush comfort of the armchair. You lament your physique, yet you refuse the sweat, the achy, the very struggle that forges resilience. The man who seeks ease finds weakness. I have seen such weakness before, though in a different guise. When I stood alone in the wilderness years, warning of the gathering storm across the channel, many of my countrymen preferred comfortable illusions. They scoffed, they dismissed. They clung to the notion that peace could be bought with empty words and averted gazes. They chose the path of least resistance, the sweet balm of denial, rather than confront the hard, brutal truth of what lay ahead. They preferred pleasant dreams to the harsh awakening. This, my friends, is no different from your own daily surrender to ease. You avoid the hard conversation. You postpone the difficult decision. You allow the rot to fester, rather than cut it out with a clean, surgical strike. Your comfort zone is your danger zone. What then is the practical application of this truth? It is simply this: acknowledge your indulgence. Identify the specific behaviors that dull your edges, that soften your resolve. Is it the endless digital scroll? Is it the immediate retreat from discomfort? Is it the soft lie you tell yourself to avoid effort? Confront these habits. See them for what they are, not harmless diversions, but silent saboteurs of your potential. Start small. Perhaps shut off the digital noise for an hour. Choose the difficult path in one small decision today. Discipline is not a grand, sweeping gesture. It is the sum of countless small victories over your weaker self. The consequence of this modern weakness is profound. You become a spectator in your own life, watching others live fully while you merely exist. You lose the keen edge of your intellect, dulled by constant distraction. You erode your self-respect, knowing deep down that you are capable of more, yet choosing less. Strength is built in silence, not on social media. Your ability to act, to lead, to truly live, diminishes with every surrender to the soft, easy path. You are not just missing opportunities, you are missing yourself. Now, having glimpsed the shadows, let us speak of the sun. For within every man, no matter how obscured by modern indulgence, lies the spark of greatness. It is a potent, unyielding flame, waiting only for the fuel of your will to ignite it. But most men, I tell you, will never become great because they refuse to answer the call. They hear the whisper of destiny, but choose instead the loud clamor of distraction. What is this call? It is the insistent demand of your spirit to rise above the common, to do more, to be more than what is merely expected. It is the deep-seated urge to confront the seemingly impossible, to embrace the struggle, and to leave a mark upon the world that transcends your fleeting existence. Yet too many of you are content to merely occupy space. You pursue a comfortable career, a pleasant home, a life devoid of true challenge, and you call it success. But I ask you, is it truly success if you have never tested the very limits of your being? Is it truly success if you have never pushed through the fear, through the doubt, to achieve something that seemed utterly out of reach? In 1940, the world trembled. France had fallen. Britain stood alone against a tyrannical force that had swept across Europe with terrifying speed. There were those, even within my own government, who advocated for negotiation, for a comfortable peace, for a surrender that would spare our people immediate suffering. They spoke of realistic options and pragmatic solutions, but I knew deep in my bones that such a path led not to peace, but to ultimate enslavement. I chose defiance. I offered nothing but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. I called not for ease, but for an unparalleled struggle. This was the call to greatness, not just for a nation, but for every man and woman within it. We did not choose comfort, we chose the fight. And in that choice, we found our salvation and our greatness. The practical application for you, then, is to ask yourself, what impossible task have you shayed away from? What monumental challenge have you dismissed as beyond your reach? It might be the launch of a new venture, the repair of a fractured relationship, the mastering of a difficult skill, or the forging of a body and mind capable of enduring any storm. Identify that personal impossible, that private mountain you have refused to climb. Then commit. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop seeking an easier way. The soft path leads to a hard life. Embrace the difficulty, for it is in the fire of struggle that the true self is forged. Your true self is found in the fire, not the armchair. The consequence of ignoring this call is profound. You become a man of quiet desperation, looking back on a life filled with what-ifs and if-onlys. You live a life of comfort, perhaps, but also of regret. You become an echo, merely reflecting the opinions and choices of others, rather than forging your own path. Your legacy will be one of unfulfilled potential, a shadow of the man you could have been. You won't just fail to become great, you will fail to truly live. Greatness is not given, it is forged. You don't need their approval. You need your own respect. Now let us speak plainly of the cost. For every choice there is a price. Every surrender to comfort, every avoidance of the struggle, every time you turn away from the call to greatness, you are paying a heavy, silent toll. This is the insidious price of mediocrity, and it is a debt that accrues interest daily. A debt you will repay with regret and a life unlived. Consider the man who chooses comfort in his career. He stays in the job he dislikes, telling himself it's good enough. or that the effort to change is too much. He watches years turn into decades, becoming the perpetual complainer, the one who bemoans his fate but takes no decisive action. He dreams of impact, of purpose, but settles for passive existence. His skills atrophy, his spirit dulls, and his potential becomes a whisper of what might have been. This is the man who complains about his job for 20 years, the man who lives a comfortable lie. Think of your relationships. When faced with difficult conversations, do you retreat? Do you prioritize immediate peace over necessary truth? Do you people please? Nodding agreement when your gut screams dissent. This avoidance, this fear of friction, breeds resentment like a slow poison. It erodes trust, diminishes respect, and transforms vibrant connections into fragile, superficial bonds. You avoid the momentary discomfort of conflict only to inherit the lasting agony of a hollow relationship. I saw the devastating price of mediocrity and the avoidance of necessary struggle firsthand. In the years leading up to the Second World War, the prevailing sentiment in Britain and Europe was one of appeasement. Leaders, seeking peace at any price, chose to negotiate with a tyrant, to ignore his escalating aggression, to make concessions in the hope that he would be satisfied. They signed treaties, offered compromises, and turned a blind eye to the clear and present danger. They bought a fleeting, false sense of security, believing that by avoiding confrontation, they would avoid war. What was the price? The betrayal of Czechoslovakia, the relentless expansion of tyranny, and ultimately, a war far more devastating than it needed to be. The cost of their comfort was unimaginable suffering for millions. Your refusal to confront your own internal tyrants carries a similar, though personal, price. What then is the practical application of this somber truth? Face your future self directly. Close your eyes and truly visualize the man you will become if you continue on this path of least resistance. See the regret in his eyes, the weariness in his shoulders, the quiet shame of a life never fully lived. Let that vision burn into your soul. Then open your eyes and take immediate, decisive action. Do not delay. Do not rationalize. This is happening to you right now. Pick one small area where you are choosing ease over growth and reverse course today. Make that difficult phone call. Sign up for that challenging course. Start that brutal workout. Choose your suffering, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The consequence is stark. You will live a life haunted by the ghost of the man you could have been. You will be a man of comfort, yes, but also a man of quiet desperation, lacking true respect from others because you lack it for yourself. The weight of inaction is heavier than the burden of struggle. Your legacy will not be one of purpose, but of unfulfilled potential. Comfort today means regret tomorrow. Do not let your life be a testament to what might have been, but to what you became through struggle and relentless will. Now, how do we turn this tide? How do you, the modern man, escape the quicksand of mediocrity? The answer lies not in newfangled self-help schemes, but in principles as old as civilization itself, forged in the fires of necessity and proven by the trials of history. These are the ancient principles that guided men like myself through the darkest hours, and they remain the bedrock upon which true greatness is built. You are bombarded daily with noise, with fleeting trends, with distractions designed to keep you from deep work and uncomfortable truths. You seek instant answers, quick fixes, a magic bullet for every problem. You scroll through endless feeds, hoping to stumble upon the secret to success, when the secrets were laid bare centuries ago. You crave novelty, not truth. I spent years in the political wilderness, out of favor, often ridiculed. They called me an alarmist, a warmonger, a man out of touch. Yet, I did not chase the shifting winds of popular opinion. I did not compromise on the hard truths I saw regarding Hitler's aggression. While others appeased, I studied, I wrote, I spoke, I prepared. I consumed history not as a leisure activity, but as a manual for the future. I learned the patterns of human behavior, the rise and fall of empires, the unchanging nature of courage and cowardice. I understood that principles, not popularity, were the only reliable compass. My critics thought I was irrelevant. I was merely sharpening my blade in the dark. The truth is never popular until it becomes necessary. Your first ancient principle: confront reality unflinchingly. Stop sugarcoating your failures. Stop blaming external forces for your internal weaknesses. Look at your life, your habits, your relationships, your finances, your physical state with the cold, hard gaze of a general assessing his battlefield. Where are your weaknesses? Where are the gaps in your defenses? Where have you deluded yourself? This requires immense courage, for self-deception is the most comforting lie. But without this brutal honesty, no progress is possible. You must see the enemy clearly before you can defeat him. Truth is your first weapon. Perhaps you tell yourself you're doing fine financially, while debts mount and savings dwindle. You avoid looking at your bank statements. You rationalize impulsive spending. You delay investing in your future. This is self-deception. Or you claim you're too busy to exercise, yet you spend hours on trivial pursuits. You ignore the warning signs from your body, convinced you'll get to it someday. This is denial. Or you avoid a difficult conversation with a loved one, letting resentment fester, telling yourself it's not a big deal. This is cowardice masquerading as peace. These are your battlegrounds. Your second ancient principle: embrace the grind of discipline. Greatness is not a sudden eruption. It is the slow, relentless accumulation of small, consistent efforts. I worked long hours, often late into the night, reading, writing, planning. I dictated letters, memo speeches, constantly refining my thoughts, forcing clarity upon complexity. This was not always exciting. It was often tedious, but it was necessary. No comfort, no conquest. You must cultivate a similar relentlessness in your own life. Identify one small, critical action you can take daily without fail to move towards your goals. It could be reading for 30 minutes, writing 500 words, exercising for 15 minutes, or making one difficult phone call. Do it when you don't feel like it. Do it when no one is watching. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your discomfort. Master your habits, master your destiny. When you apply these ancient principles, you stop being a passenger in your own life and become the pilot. You gain clarity. You build a foundation of genuine strength that cannot be shaken by the fleeting whims of the world. You move from reactivity to intentionality. You will find that problems you once viewed as insurmountable begin to shrink, for you have grown stronger than they are. The man who confronts himself conquers the world. Greatness is earned, not given. The path of least resistance leads to maximum regret. Even with the strongest foundation, the journey to greatness is not a smooth ascent. It is a path riddled with pitfalls, sudden storms, and moments of profound doubt. These are the crucibles of testing, designed not to break you, but to forge you. Most men, I tell you, will never become great because they shrink from the heat. They flee the forge, mistaking temporary pain for permanent defeat. You live in an era that often preaches instant gratification and flawless execution. You see only the polished highlight reels of others' successes, never the countless failures, the agonizing struggles, the searing criticisms they endured. When you face your own setback, a business venture fails, a relationship crumbles, a project hits an insurmountable wall, you are prone to despair, to self-pity, to throwing in the towel. You internalize every negative comment, every rejection, as definitive proof of your inadequacy. Your default response to adversity is often retreat, not resilience. Consider the dark days of 1940. Dunkirk was a miracle, but it was also a desperate retreat. The Blitz rained bombs upon London nightly. U-boats decimated our shipping lanes. America was still neutral. Many thought our cause was lost. Even within my own war cabinet, there were voices of dissent, doubt, and despair. I was constantly under immense pressure, facing unimaginable burdens, and often personal attacks from those who wished to undermine my leadership. Yet I did not yield. I did not despair. I famously declared, "If you are going through hell, keep going." I knew that defeat was not an option, and that every setback, however grim, was merely a test of our resolve. We turned the fear into defiance, the despair into determination. We understood that the very act of enduring was a victory. The only way out of hell is through. Adversity is your forge, your first mental framework for the crucible. Embrace setbacks as data, not destiny. When your project fails, your idea is rejected, or you make a significant mistake, resist the urge to view it as a personal indictment. Instead, analyze it. What went wrong? What did you learn? What would you do differently next time? This is not about wallowing in failure. It is about extracting every ounce of wisdom from it. A true leader learns more from a crushing defeat than from 100 easy victories. Your failures are your greatest teachers, if you are brave enough to listen. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. You apply for a promotion and are rejected, feeling like a failure. Instead of internalizing it, ask for feedback, understand where you fell short, and use it to improve your skills for the next opportunity. You hit a plateau in your physical training, or you suffer a minor injury. Instead of quitting, adjust your routine, research new methods, or seek expert advice. You pour your soul into a creative project, only for it to be met with apathy or harsh criticism. Instead of abandoning it, understand the feedback, refine your craft, and use the experience to fuel your next, better creation. Let your scars tell your story. Your second mental framework, forge your will on the anvil of criticism. In today's world, everyone has an opinion, and many are eager to tear down those who dare to stand out. You will face criticism, both fair and unfair, from strangers, colleagues, and even those closest to you. Most men crumble under this scrutiny, seeking to please everyone, or withdrawing entirely. But the great man uses it as fuel. Filter out the noise. Listen to constructive feedback, yes, but dismiss the malice and the doubt. Understand that those who criticize from the sidelines are rarely the ones doing the real work. Their words are merely the clanking of chains they refuse to break. Stand firm in your convictions. Your resolve is tested by the fire of disapproval. They throw stones, you build monuments. When you master the art of the crucible, you become unbreakable. Setbacks no longer derail you, they refine you. Criticism no longer crushes you, it sharpens your resolve. You develop an inner fortitude, a quiet confidence that stems not from the absence of fear, but from the mastery of it. You will find that your capacity for action expands exponentially, for you are no longer limited by the fear of failure or the sting of disapproval. You will not just endure, you will prevail. You will not merely survive, you will thrive. The only failure is the failure to continue. Principles and mental frameworks are vital, but they are only theory without action. To embody greatness, to become the man you are meant to be, requires the rigorous, unwavering application of discipline. This is the warrior's discipline, the daily commitment to the difficult, the consistent pursuit of mastery, even when the spirit lags and the body aches. Most men, I warn you, will never become great because they lack this daily relentless self-mastery. They pursue comfort, not conquest. You are drowning in choices, paralyzed by options, perpetually seeking the easiest path. Your mornings begin without purpose. Your days drift from one distraction to another, and your evenings are consumed by mindless consumption. You yearn for results without putting in the work, for strength without the sweat, for wisdom without the study. You chase motivation, which is fleeting, instead of cultivating discipline, which is enduring. You rely on bursts of inspiration, rather than the steady grind of consistent effort. My life was a testament to rigorous daily habits. I rose early, even after late nights, often working from bed before the official day began. I dictated letters, reviewed documents, studied maps. I engaged my mind constantly, reading widely, writing profusely. I believed in the power of physical vigor, even into old age, though my habits might seem peculiar to some. I knew that the mind could not be sharp if the body was neglected. I didn't wait for inspiration. I cultivated a routine that demanded productivity. I did not merely react to events. I shaped them through meticulous preparation and relentless effort. My discipline was my armor, my routine, my weapon. Discipline is freedom. Your first step to warrior's discipline, master your mornings. The first few hours of your day set the tone for everything that follows. Do you surrender them to the soft tyranny of the smartphone? Do you drift aimlessly, reacting to the world instead of shaping your own? No. Begin with intention. Before you check your phone, before you engage with the digital world, dedicate a fixed period to an activity that strengthens your mind, body, or spirit. This could be vigorous exercise, deep work on a critical project, meditation, reading, or planning your day with ruthless clarity. This morning ritual is your personal fortress, protecting your focus from the encroaching chaos. Win the morning, win the day. Routine is your foundation. Instead of hitting snooze and immediately checking social media, get up, exercise for 30 minutes, and then spend 15 minutes planning your most important tasks. Instead of bouncing between emails, chats, and low priority tasks, block out 90 minutes for deep, uninterrupted work on your most challenging project. Put your phone away. Close distracting tabs. Instead of sporadically visiting the gym when you feel like it, commit to a specific training schedule 3-5 times a week, regardless of your mood. Treat it as an unbreakable appointment. Sweat today, triumph tomorrow. Your second step. Embrace deliberate discomfort daily. Discipline is not merely doing what you enjoy, it is consistently doing what you must do, especially when it is difficult, tedious, or unpleasant. Seek out small opportunities for deliberate discomfort. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Drink water when you crave sugar. Choose the more challenging option in a decision. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. These small acts of self-mastery accumulate, forging a will that can face any trial. Your resolve is a muscle, it grows with resistance. Consistency conquers chaos. The man who cultivates warrior's discipline becomes a force of nature. He is not swayed by fleeting emotions, external pressures, or the siren call of ease. He controls his time, his energy, his focus. He moves with purpose, achieving consistently what others only dream of sporadically. He builds momentum, and that momentum carries him through obstacles that would break lesser men. You gain not just external success, but profound internal peace and self-respect. You are not waiting for life to happen, you are making it happen. Your will is your greatest weapon. The path we have walked, from weakness to forged, will culminates not in thunderous applause, but in a quiet, unshakable presence. This is silent dominance, the power you wield when your actions speak louder than any words, when your very bearing commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you have earned it. Most men, I warn you, will never attain this true power, for they mistake noise for strength and attention for influence. You live in an age of incessant noise, do you not? An age where men chase fleeting trends, seeking validation in every digital echo chamber. You see men desperate for attention, broadcasting their every thought, their every meal, their every fleeting emotion to a world that cares little. They shout their opinions from the rooftops, convinced that volume equates to truth. They posture and preen, creating an illusion of strength that shatters at the first sign of real pressure. They believe influence is gained through constant self-promotion, through a carefully curated image of success rather than the grinding reality of achievement. This frantic search for outward affirmation is a profound weakness, for it reveals a void within. True power whispers, it does not shout. I have seen the inverse of this claimer in the darkest days of the war, when the bombs fell and the news was grim. My public declarations were certainly defiant, but behind closed doors, in the war rooms beneath London, there was no room for posturing. There was a quiet, relentless focus on facts, on strategy, on the next practical step. My dominance, if you could call it that, came not from shouting, but from an unwavering resolve, from the sheer weight of work, from the willingness to make brutal decisions and stand by them, often alone. I did not seek popularity, I sought victory. I was not concerned with my image. I was concerned with the survival of a nation. My presence, my authority, derived from competence, from a deep understanding of the task, and from an unshakable belief in the rightness of our cause. They sought attention, mastery. What, then, is the practical application of this silent dominance for you? First, cultivate competence above all else. Stop chasing fleeting trends and superficial metrics. Instead, devote yourself to becoming exceptionally good at what you do. Whether it is your craft, your business, your chosen field of study, or your role as a father or husband. This requires deep work, the kind of focused effort that allows you to master complex skills and solve difficult problems. You will spend hours, perhaps years, in silent, unglamorous practice. You will be learning, failing, refining, and rebuilding, all without the need for external applause. Your expertise will speak for itself. Competence is your loudest statement. Consider the man who perpetually talks about his ambitious plans but never delivers. He is a loud bell, but hollow. Now, consider the man who says little, but consistently produces exceptional results. He is the quiet force, the one whose opinion is sought, whose counsel is valued. When you consistently deliver, when you show up prepared, when you execute with precision, you build an unassailable reputation. You become the go-to person, not because you demanded it, but because your capabilities made it so. Stop proclaiming your intentions. Start demonstrating your capabilities. Second, embrace the power of quiet observation and thoughtful response. In a world desperate to speak, choose to listen. Most men are eager to interject, to prove their point, to control the conversation, but the man of true influence understands that wisdom often lies in silence. Observe the dynamics around you. Listen deeply to what is being said, and more importantly, what is not. When you do speak, let your words be deliberate, impactful, and weighted with substance, not rushed emotion. Your calm demeanor in a crisis, your measured response to provocation, your ability to hold your peace when others are shouting, these are profound demonstrations of inner strength. They command attention not through force, but through gravitas. The man who truly listens learns. Imagine a heated meeting at work. Most rush to voice their immediate opinions, to defend their positions, to interrupt and dominate. But you, the man of silent dominance, observe. You listen to every argument, weigh the various perspectives, and only then, with a clear understanding of the situation, do you offer your insight. Your words, few though they may be, cut through the noise, offering clarity, direction, or a decisive solution. This is not about being quiet for the sake of it. It is about choosing your moment and making that moment count. They seek attention, you seek mastery. The consequence of cultivating silent dominance is profound. You will find that true respect, not merely superficial admiration, flows towards you. People will seek your counsel, not your approval. Your influence will grow organically, not through manufactured hype, but through demonstrated value. You will attract real allies, individuals who value substance over showmanship. You will possess an inner calm, a rock, solid confidence that stems from your own capabilities rather than the fickle opinions of the crowd. You will move through the world with an unshakable presence, radiating authority without needing to declare it. Your quiet strength becomes your loudest declaration. You don't need their approval. You need your own respect. We have journeyed from the soft grip of modern weakness through the fires of discipline and the forging of silent power. But for what purpose? Is it merely to achieve personal triumph, to stand tall for a brief moment before the inevitable dust claims us all? No. The ultimate aim of cultivating true strength, of becoming a man of unyielding resolve, is to leave a mark, to contribute something enduring to the tapestry of existence. This is the legacy of strength, the understanding that your life is not merely a brief flicker, but a torch to be passed, a foundation upon which future generations may build. Most men, I tell you, will never leave such a legacy, for they live only for today and for themselves. You are encouraged, are you not, to live for the moment, to seek immediate gratification, to consume rather than to create. You are told that self-care means endless comfort, that life is about accumulating fleeting pleasures and ephemeral experiences. This short-sightedness, this relentless focus on the here and now, blinds you to the profound responsibility you carry, the responsibility to those who come after you. You fear the end, perhaps the inevitable silence, but you fail to consider the echo you will leave behind. Your life is not merely a brief flicker. It is a torch to be passed. I lived with the weight of history and the profound awareness of the future. My every decision, every defiant speech, every strategic maneuver during the war was imbued with the knowledge that I was fighting not just for that day, but for the very future of Western civilization, for the freedom of generations yet unborn. I did not fight for personal glory. I fought for a principle, for a legacy of liberty. I knew that the choices made in my time would echo for centuries. I stood on the shoulders of giants, and it was my duty to ensure that those who came after me would have shoulders upon which to stand in turn. The battle was greater than any individual. The legacy was paramount. Leave behind more than just memories, leave a mark. What, then, is the practical application of living for a legacy of strength? First, identify something greater than yourself. Stop thinking solely in terms of your own comfort, your own desires, your own immediate gratification. What cause stirs your soul? What problem in the world demands your fierce attention? Is it your family, your community, your nation, a specific field of endeavor, or a principle you hold dear? It might be the restoration of traditional values, the building of an innovative company that solves real problems, the mentorship of young men, or the creation of art that inspires and endures. Commit your strength, your discipline, your silent dominance to something that will outlive you. Your personal strength is a tool. Wield it for a greater purpose. Consider the man who builds a business, not just for profit, but to create jobs, innovate an industry, and solve a widespread problem. He is building a legacy. Or the man who dedicates himself to raising his children with unshakable character, instilling in them the principles of resilience and integrity. He is building a legacy. Or the man who, through his writing or his craft, creates works that speak across generations, inspiring, challenging, and shaping the minds of those yet to be born. He is building a legacy. This is not about grand, public gestures. It can be built in the quiet, consistent application of your disciplined strength for the benefit of others, or for an enduring idea. Your legacy is built daily, not in that second. Embrace the long game. True legacy is not built overnight. It is the culmination of sustained effort, often unseen and unrewarded in the short term. This requires immense patience, foresight, and an unwavering commitment to your chosen cause. Even when progress is slow, obstacles are vast, and the immediate returns are negligible. You must be willing to plant trees whose shade you may never sit under. You must be willing to fight battles whose ultimate victory you may not witness. This means making sacrifices today for the benefit of tomorrow. This means delaying gratification for a larger, more meaningful reward. They seek instant gratification. You seek enduring impact. The consequence of living for a legacy of strength is the profoundest form of fulfillment. You will find a sense of purpose that transcends fleeting pleasures. Your life will be imbued with meaning, knowing that your struggles, your triumphs, and your very existence are contributing to something larger, something that will echo beyond your individual lifespan. You will replace the fear of insignificance with the quiet confidence of a life well fought, a life that truly mattered. You will not merely pass through this world, you will leave your indelible mark upon it. The greatest legacy is a life well fought. So, stand firm. Fight well. Let your strength reverberate through the ages. Let your life be a testament to what a man can achieve when he refuses mediocrity and embraces his inherent, powerful, and enduring greatness. Your time is now. Make it count.